Welcome, YouTubers, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Here we are on the worst step in the book, planking the hull. We've started to profile those edges. These are 90-degree corners, so when that board needs to bend around, I've already got some out of the pile here. That board's got to bend around and get glued and pinned to that edge there. So I'm using the little handy dandy Dremel here and a sanding wheel. I'm just at the point where I'm going to put a new sanding wheel on there, and I've already taken off a bunch of those corners in a rough format with this, and I just went and dug these out of my toolbox. This is a wood rasp, an antique one, but it's still fairly sharp. So I'm going to use that to help me see the areas that need a little more taken off. And then I've got a flat file which is really sharp and coarse. It'll take off a lot at one time, and I can get those edges to the contour that we need for putting the planking on. And I just got it setting up on this 4x4 so it's easier to work on. And there's some counterweights on here with some rags underneath to keep it from flopping around while I'm grinding away on it. And we'll get the front part done first and try to make that profile acceptable, keeping in mind that one side of this is only going to get partial planking, and then the port side, which is, you flip the ship upside down, port side is on the left. You remember that P-O-R-T is a 4-letter word, and so is the word left. L-E-F-T is a 4-letter word. That's how you remember port is left, starboard is right. Starboard has more letters in it. Right has more letters in it. So the instructions are telling me that there are two different steps in the planking and two different steps on each side. So they only call for a certain number of planking boards of the basswood on the cutaway side, and then again a fewer number of walnut planking boards on the cutaway side, and then a full coverage of boards on the non-exposed side. So we're getting ready for that by taking the edges off of these corners on these beams so that them boards can wrap around. We'll put the heat to some of them. We'll be cutting some little slivers to fit in there and gluing and pinning. The last ship I did, I tried to use a complete board from one end to the other with no seams except for the spaces that are going to be like this, where you may have to put an insert board because the edges don't line up, keeping that 5mm width the same. So that's our new step that we're moving to this week. We've already got a late start, but we got all the stuff done on the ends and the bow prepping for this step. And the first thing they tell me in the instructions is sand away, file and grind, and 2 different kind of deck boards, basswood and walnut, but a lot of filing and grinding and sanding before you start actually installing the boards. You want a uniform finish, so even after I get all that done, I'm probably going to have to stain and varnish this again. That's what it's wanting me to do. So this is going to be a little dusty mess. You can see already just in the last 5 minutes of grinding with the Dremel, I've already got a nice dusty mess. So I turned the fan around so it's blowing the dust away from where I'm working instead of just letting it fall everywhere. But this is a workshop, so we don't care if we get dust everywhere. So that's the step that we're working on now, the dreaded planking. It's intimidating because you can see that bend you got to make with those boards. It's going to be tough without breaking them. So we'll try to put this iron and heating tool together to work quite a bit, and we'll soak them in some water as needed before we put the heat to them, trying to get them to soften up a little bit. The basswood is pretty easy to work with without soaking it, but the walnut, no, that's not easy to work with. If you're not careful, you end up like that. So we're going to try to be careful because we don't want to waste any. I do have a little bit left over from the San Juan that's up here. All this is left over and stuff that I bought because I didn't think I'd have enough, so I bought more. All them ones with white tags on them are stuff we bought at a hobby store or something. So we wouldn't run out of anything, but you never know. And I did order a hand driver for the pin nails from the internet, so that should be coming in a few days. So I got a few days to grind and sand and get this thing ready for boards. I'll give you an update when we get ready for boards. Okay, so I've got her done filing pretty much. So now looking at putting on the first of the planking boards. So I got glue from here over, and then I'm pre-drilling and putting some tacks in. I haven't driven these two yet, but I want to be able to get some glue behind here as I go along, and I'm gonna pre-drill 3 or 2 at a time and then work my way up here to the front. Get that to go around. This part, this kind of basswood bends pretty easily, just bending it by hand. And I think with the tacks and the glue and the clamper too, we might be able to get this stuff on there without too much fight. The walnut's going to be the top one. So we'll work on this top 6 boards and see what we can get done there. And this is the back side of the ship where the planking is going to go all the way to the bottom. So I figured I'd start on that first. Because in the photographs and so on, it's a little iffy about the other planking on the exposed side. So the directions are telling me there's 6 boards on this side too, but there's only a couple there. I guess it depends on how much you want to leave exposed, so we'll worry about that side when we get to it. We got to get this side done first, and that's what we're on now. So I'm going to drill and glue away until we get this done. Okay, reached the milestone today. This is the 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, it called for 6 basswood strips, and that line there represents where the keel's gonna go in. It's got to get cut out for that. So them other boards will get cut off from that line, and this will be here. And I think I'm gonna add one on the top. That little piece that was added to the front. And got this all the way from where we started down here on this end. We started on the easier end, glued intact, and of course we pre-bent those ends there. You can see the dark marks on that is from the this is a burn mark from the laser cut. I probably ought to sand that just so it's raw wood and not that burn mark. But that from the laser cut creates a burn in the wood, and that burn transferred over to these pieces as I was bending them, because the back side here was touching the arc in there. So that thing works really good. You just gotta be patient. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes to heat that arc up. I start around here and work it away to a good more than 90 degrees. And that way when I get down to this end, it's easier to bring it around there and pull it up tight. And I'm pre-drilling, because when I didn't pre-drill, it's obviously you can push a pin into this plywood pretty easy and through this basswood pretty easy. But as you can see, there's 2 of them right there that I didn't pre-drill, and you can see how it split the wood. So those are the only 2 I didn't pre-drill, just to test to see if it would be quicker. But that split is showing, so I'm deciding I'm going to just continue pre-drilling, because I'm only going through the basswood and into the plywood just a little bit, so I do have a guide for the pin when I drive it in there to keep it lined up. So we got all our 6 boards on the basswood. Now I'll be walnut from there down, and we'll let this dry overnight to make sure we got a good bond on that. And I was pretty liberal with the glue. I got a towel over here that's wet, that's damp, and I was using this as I would pin those down and squish them together. Glue would come out everywhere, so I would take this and wipe it down before I hit the pin with the hammer, so I wasn't splattering the glue all over the place with the hammerhead. And it came out really good, so I think we'll be proficient plankers as we continue with this job here. I used the big file to verify that I do have a good profile for these planks to lay on, so I'm pretty confident I don't have to do too much more other than dust it. I got to get the air compressor fired up and blow it out real good when I get a long ways through it, because even the drilling, you can see the dust in there from when we were grinding. We got to get all that out of there. So, but today took all day. Here it is, 3:30 in the afternoon. I started about 9. I think I was about 10:30 when I started, almost noontime. And it took quite a while to preheat those, bend them, tack them in place, glue it, tack them in place. So, but you can see there's a little angle here, like this is wider than 6 boards at the end, but that might be a optical illusion. And they're all straight there. It looks straight here. The one thing I was referring to was this other drawing here. I'd taken it down. As I was looking at that, where the planking is on the end there, and you really can't tell anything in the front because it disappears, but I didn't see any discrepancies from the way I'm doing it. So I'm going to spend a little more time counting boards plus this rail. There's a rail up there above the deck, and verify that we got what we need for this before I go to doing the walnut planking. So good progress. Pain in the butt, but that's part of the detail work on something like this. Sometimes things are a pain in the butt. So I'll give you another update when we get some more done, what we're going to do next. Okay. Using the bender, it's like a soldering iron with a big roll on the head of it. We're able to put a nice arc in this wood. This walnut. See, I marked in the inside where I need to bend it at with a Sharpie. So putting it on the first row of walnut planks underneath the basswood planks. You can see there it's gonna come up in there, fit rather nicely after we start gluing and pinning. So first thing I usually do is get some glue on there. I try to get some on the bottom of the plank that is in position already. Need to go down about halfway. I'm going to be pretty liberal with this glue because I want to make sure I get a good bond. And I got a rag that's been soaked in water, so it's nice and wet. So as I progress here, I'll be wiping the glue off in areas that it's squishing out at. And then I'm making sure that I got glue everywhere that plank's going to be touching. Especially down there at the end, the beginning. So now it's just a matter of setting it in there like that. And I'm going to put a clamp right about there, and then take my .5 millimeter I know there's a nice hunk of wood right there, and I'm just going in through the plank itself and not too much into the plywood. And we take one of our pins, very carefully. Some blocks underneath here to help hold that at this angle. Now that one didn't hit where I was thinking. There is some wood there, but not much. Try to get that nail in. I've been wiping the glue off before I hit the nail. When I smash the nail into the wood. Because I don't want that glue to be getting all over the hammer. So that little spot is done. We'll put a pin there next, but I'm going to squish this up in this next area. Wipe some of that glue off. You where you can see, but not in my way. And I have broken like 10 of these, so it's okay. I got 40 of them. I'm on the 31st one now. Got 29 left plus what's in the drill. There you go. See that glue mushing out. We'll wipe that off in a second. Get one more pin in here. I also want to get the glue off of the frame underneath the plank so it doesn't dry and block a tight fit for the next frame or the next plank coming. So that's sort of the process. Now our glue stops right here, so when I clamp this, I'm gonna have a hard time getting glue in to the next few areas, so I'm going to go ahead and get some glue. You're a little too close for me. Oops. The good thing about that plank bender is the plank pretty much stays in that bend position. You just got to get your bend position in the right spot as you're putting the heat to it. I'm going to go all the way around to where it's going to stop at. I think 1, 2, 3, 4. If I put the clamp right about here. Sure I'm getting that glue off of the frame below that plank before it starts to dry. Just enough to get through that hard wood, so I don't get any splitting. I'm making sure that that new plank is going to go down almost flush with the ones before it, and that it's up tight. Against the bottom of the other plank. The more curvature you get to, the worse it gets. So you got to work your way inch by inch. Stick the tweezers, the butt of the tweezers in the rag so I can get up in that groove, get that glue off. And I just got some blocks underneath the ship to hold it at this angle, so it's easier to work on. Get that glue off everywhere. Now we're going to move on down into, we're putting some strain on that board now. It doesn't want to go up, it doesn't want to bend up that edge, and it is I think I'm going to add a temporary clamp right there while I work on this other pin here. That'll make sure it's pushed up in this open area between the first clamp. Get one in here and then move it. I really don't need it there. I do need to get this glue off though. See, there's a little gap there. So when I drill this next pin, I want to make sure I'm pushing up on that board. I got to get some more pins out of the tray here. We got one hole there, right? See more of that glue smushing out. That's a good sign that we're going to get a good bond. Don't hit your thumb. I do have a pin pusher on order. It won't be here for a couple more days. So now we're getting to the harder part. I'm gonna scoot this around. I think you're okay there. Let's see. I'll put one clamp there and then push this in and get another clamp. So this starts to set in the right position. wood before I put the heat to it. I took a little paintbrush and got it wet in the area that I had marked on the magic marker on both sides. Just got water all over it. And that way, while you're heating it, the water helped soften the wood up. And even more glue came out then. See if I can get you a little closer. So if I turn the clamp like that, I can get in there with the drill. Can't get that one yet, but I'll do these two before I. It's important you have something solid on the other side of the ship. So as you're pounding away here, or as you, even if you're just pushing on it, you gotta have something solid. Push against. So we can take I'm going to leave that one on there. I want to see if this board will go in any without breaking it. That's just going to be for the sake of drying the glue. That should give me enough room to get around two more. Oh! That scared me. All that little rubber on here is sliding down. That's probably why it jumped off. In the process of that little thing popping loose, the drill bit broke somehow. I don't remember. I don't know if I was touching the wood or what, but I busted it. Now we're down to like 28. last one yet, but gotta be patient. It's hard to see where that hole was, but see the glue mushing out. We can get this last one there. I'm trying to adjust the tripod to go down some. There we go. So you can see. Voila. Now that line there represents where these are going to get cut off at, because that this piece here is going to go up in there. It's got to go flush with the frame. According to the directions, I gotta leave a 6mm gap for that board to fit in the middle there. So let's get the rest of this glue off. Okay, a little sanding. We won't do that until we get all the boards on. You can see how the board has the fibers in it are expanding because it's wet and all those little hairs are coming up, but that's okay. So that puts us into position for the next board. Got that on there pretty good. A little gap there though. If I pull that pin out and drive that up some more, I have to drill a new hole with it. Yep, there is one that comes up to the end, so the rest of them will stop along this back edge here and start coming up and dead ending into that, which is going to be fun. We'll just keep on trucking. Okay, as you can see here, next plank going on. They're getting worse and worse. But I got this one preheated and bent to fit up in there. So what we're doing now is seeing where the bend needs to start in the front. I got the plank wet from here down. It's also got to bend down and around this corner. So right now we're going to put the heat in this spot here. Get this oriented in the right area. Push too hard because it'll break. See how I'm holding it into that curve, and the more I advance it, the more extreme the bend is. You hear that little sizzle? That's the water burning off. So we want to get this hot. Pre-fit the back end and then make that move toward the front just to get an idea where we're at here. We got too much bend right there. While it's still wet, we can force some of that back out. Fit the back in, pull it up. You can see before it didn't want to, it was going down here, now it's with that heat, it's going to be just right, I think. And I can actually sort of twist it a little bit so that the bottom lays down into that spot that it needs to be. So that's gonna go on nicely. We'll we got some tape on the bottom of those blocks back there holding the ship up so they don't slide, but it still moves around, so we're going to go ahead and glue and start pinning this piece on there. You can see I've already cut off the ones here to accept the bow spirit, or the keel beam. And this is a painstaking, long drawn out process. I'll get back with you when I get this on there. You can see I really was fighting that corner there. And after we add some more wood, sawdust, and glue and sand it, should be okay. Okay, so we got that baby in there. Let me turn some other lights on here. I took some this walnut and sanded it real hard on the deck here and made a little pile of dark walnut sawdust, and used some glue and dabbed it up in there here and there, and got that transition there to blend in a little better because it was looking rough. And then come around here to the front. That worked out nicely. The front's pretty easy. It's this back here that's the problem. And the book is showing them boards going up in there and butting into the almost perpendicular, butting into that end there. But when you put the board on their ship and you put the heat to it and bend it, it just doesn't want to go in that fashion that they're showing there. So I'm struggling with it. You know, granted, I'm not near as far down as that is. You know, they're way down in here, so after we get several more on, I think I'm going to start tapering the next few to be a little skinnier as they come up in there. They'll be easier to work with if they're smaller. They'll be easier to twist if they're not near as wide. These are 5 millimeters wide, so if I start tapering it in this area, make it go down to 3 millimeters or whatever at the end, it'll be easier to twist it to get it to go around and up. So one more board. That's what we got done this week. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 planks installed. Thanks for watching.